Massive thank you to all of the patrons who support the channel, and if you haven't already, please check out my clinical trial fundraiser for rapamycin. Until next time, thanks very much.
Everything is always working out for me. 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 Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Everything is working out for me. Things are always working out for me. And since things are always working out for me, and since I know that things are always working out for me, then what other things would I like to define that I would like to be working out for me? Since things are always working out for me, then I want to begin to apply my attention toward the things that I would like to be working out for me. I want to define more clearly what things I want to be working out for me. What things? Not nebulous things, not general things. What specific things would I like to be working out for me? What evidence? What would really ring my bells? What kinds of things would really ring my bells? I would like to have a confidence about me so that when I'm moving through traffic, I feel guided about where to go. I'd like to have good timing. I would like to feel that I'm riding on a cloud or a magic carpet of momentum. I would like to feel the universal forces working with me. I would like to look into the world and have a sense of who I am. I would like to have a full sense of who I am. I would really like to be so integrated with the fullness of who I am that I'm accepting this world in the fullness of all that it is. So integrated with the fullness of who I am that I'm accepting this world in the fullness of all that it is. All that it is. All that it is. I would like to look into this world and I would like to appreciate the components that have been before, that have led to what is right now. I would like to live in a constant state of appreciation. I would like to be an uplifter. I would like anyone who comes into contact with me to benefit as a result of our being together. I would like to not feel bad when that doesn't happen. I would like to be in a place where I'm not at my best, where I'm not even close to my best, and not beat up on myself for not being at my best, because I know that, like the ocean, I have ebb and flow too. I would like to be completely accepting of myself and of everyone else. And I would like to trust in the law of attraction and the information that it gives to me. I would like to be completely accepting of myself and of everyone else. And I would like to trust in the law of attraction and the information that it gives to me. I would like to live in a constant state of appreciation. I want to be the being that I am born to be. I want to be in this physical body. And I want to be all that I was born to be. I want to have fun, and I want to have clarity, and I want to feel energy, and I want to feel good, and I want to wake up eager for the day. I want to be the being that I am born to be. I want to be in this physical body, and I want to be all that I was born to be. I want to have fun, and I want to have clarity, and I want to feel energy, and I want to feel good, and I want to wake up eager for the day. I I want to sleep good, and I want to eat well. I want others to have that too. I'd like everyone to eat well. I'd like all the little kids to go to bed with a full belly. And I'd like them to know how good they are. I'd like that. I'd like children to know their value. I'd like them to know it soon. I'd like them to know it now. I'd like opportunities to help them know it. I'd like to move around with them. I'd like to think about them. I'd like to shine that light on them. I'd like to speculate about that. I'd like to pretend that. I'd like to imagine that. I'd like to soothe myself with that thought. I want people to feel good. I would like people to feel so good that they never feel like taking guns and killing each other. I'd like them to feel that good. I'd like them to feel so good. I'd like people to know the value of who they are. I'd like that. I'd like to be in a place where I can help people know the value of who they are. I'd like that. Don't want it to come all at once. Just one at a time. I'd like to tune into the frequency of who I am and spread the joy of who I am. I'd like to be consistently in my own joy. I'd like to be a catalyst to helping more people feel good. I'd like to be someone who's such a catalyst to helping people feel good that I don't even notice when they don't. I'd like to be so true to my vibrational frequency that anything that I want is flowing into me and anything that I don't want is flowing out of me. Understanding that there will always be contrast on the edge of what I'm living. Oh, that's it. I'd like to control my contrast better. I'd like to be better at inviting the contrast. I'd like the contrast to come in the form of a question to which I'm seeking an answer, rather than in the form of a problem to which I'm needing a solution. I'd like the problems of the world to be distant enough from me that I'm able to see them in an objective sort of sense. I don't want to be swallowed up in the problems. I want to be on the periphery of the problems. I want to be out there on the edge of the problems, close enough that I can help to find the solution, but not so wrapped up in the problem that I'm lost in the problem. I want my cork to be near the surface all the time, if not bobbing on the surface, and never deep in the underbelly of the ocean. I want to be up there where it's easy to move, but even when I'm in that state of what could be called depression, I want to know that even then it's okay. Help's on the way. It's okay. Help's on the way. I want to know the source energy is always flowing to me and through me. Always flowing to me and through me. Available at all times. And I want to feel all right about not being in the vibrational vicinity of it. I love knowing that Source loves me at all times, even when I'm not in the vibrational vicinity. I like knowing that that gaze is never taken from me. I like knowing that pure positive energy has its gaze upon me at all times. I like knowing that Source is keeping Source's promise to me. And it is my intention to start right now keeping my promise to myself more of the time. I love knowing that Source loves me at all times, even when I'm not in the vibrational vicinity. I like knowing that that gaze is never taken from me. I like knowing that pure positive energy has its gaze upon me at all times. I like knowing that Source is keeping Source's promise to me. And it is my intention to start right now keeping my promise to myself more of the time. I'm going to have way more fun. I'm going to look for more reasons to feel good. I'm going to take good care of me. I'm going to serve myself first and foremost. I'm going to tend to my vortex, and then I'm going to do anything else I have time for. Well, I say I'm going to do that. I'm probably not going to do that. But it's going to be more all right with me when I don't do that. It's going to be all right with me more when I don't do that. I'm not going to set standards for myself that I can't keep. But but I'm going to do my best to feel good more of the time. I'm going to have way more fun. I'm going to look for more reasons to feel good. I'm going to take good care of me. 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 We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can explain. You are powerful creators, and this has been a powerful group of minds that has come together. We are appreciating your willingness, not just to be in this room, but to be in this life. Not to be in this life, but to be in this world, to be in this universe, to be part of this creative experience of moving forward. It is our desire, and it is our knowing, that today you've come into closer alignment than you've ever been with who you really are. And we revel in that knowing, whether you know it or not. And we anticipate your discovery of the evidence of our knowing in the hours and the days that are before you. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain, let's see, where are we? In the vortex in your grid, in the vortex in your grid, in the vortex in your grid, in the vortex in your grid. In the vortex in your mind, in the vortex in your mind. In the vortex in your actions, in the vortex in your behavior, in the vortex in your inspiration. In the vortex in complete and utter appreciation of the life that you breathe into all that is. There is great love here for you. We are complete.
Satan got one job: to keep you from your destiny. The devil don't ever want you to be what God created you to be. So guess what? When you discover your gift and you think, I'm about to make a move and go be what God created me to be, then here go the devil. You got this job over here, you're gonna lose your 401k. Life is hard. See, for every time you have a plan, a dream, an aspiration, or a goal, do you know what happens every time you have one of those? This thing comes along called life. It happens to everybody. Life has disappointments, it's got peaks and valleys. But you gotta quit letting the devil keep you from your destiny by tying it to this little job you got. Somebody gonna close the plant you thought was gonna stay open so you can retire. That's a valley. Somebody gonna fire you for an unjust cause. That's a valley. So you got to start. Fill out the application. Go get the patent. Send in the paperwork. Get your federal ID number. Do something, man. Start creating a website. Let your job sponsor your dreams. Take some of your check money. Quit playing one of them punk bills. Take that money and start your website. Get away from people in your life that's hating. Get away from your family members that ain't ever opened a business. Get away from your family members that ain't ever followed their dream. Get away from your family members ain't never been nowhere but to the family reunion. Ain't never been to a beach. Get away from them. My whole career is dedicated to all my punk teachers that told me, sit down, acting a fool. You ain't gonna ever make no money acting a fool. It's all I had. I just used what I had. You do not have to complicate this thing. You don't need an education to do this. You just need the principles of success. I'm telling you, man, I took these $25 jokes and I turned them into a lifestyle. You can take this God-given gift that he gave you and stop thinking of how to make $1 million. Just go make $10
Mic
and do
check, Cornell,
everything
mic check.
10 times as hard. Now, it's gonna be hard. Understand that. It's gonna be very hard.
All right, we
But
get started.
start.
20
If
seconds.
you make one step, he'll make two. And don't worry about where you're going with it. Just get started. He'll show you the way to go because he wants you to get to your destiny. But he got to make sure that you want to get to your destiny first. If you tell him you want to get to your destiny, that God you serve, he going to show you how to do it. You ain't got nothing else to do. Because let me tell you something about being not successful. Being not successful, that's really hard too. So you might as well apply yourself to something that has a benefit. Your gift will make room for you.
Your gift
That's
will
in
make
your Bible.
room for you.
Quit letting people tell you the route to success. Really, God created you to be different. Just go that route. All my friends got college degrees.
All right, all right, all right. All right, so Cornell, what's good with you, brother?
Everything going good. How you doing? Good morning.
Morning. All right, man. So it's just you and me for the day, which is cool. We can get into some more intimate, higher level stuff. I'm all good with that. What I'd like to do is for those out in the marketplace on social media, I am Earl. This is Cornell, and we are your hosts on Airbnb Pro Tips. Cornell, man, tell the good people, man, what's good with you, man? What kind of week did you have?
I had a good week. Can't complain. Had a blessed week.
Mm-hmm.
Not that well. Yeah, had a good week. Not that many challenges, but overcame them, and yeah, it was definitely a blessed week. Got some activity in, and got some family time in, and gym time in, and just been blessed, and still pushing forward. I'm trying to continue to push the needle forward.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Likewise, man, for me, this week was a up week. Got the jet lag out of my system from our
Yeah.
Kabako coming back from Hawaii. So this was good, man. This is good. So Cornell, man, I don't know, man, but we may go in one direction based on a case study that I'm experiencing right now in Rochester. Or, man, depending on what your marketplace questions are, we may go in a completely different direction. So it's totally up in the air, man. So that being said, man, let me share with you what it is we could talk about, and then we can ask you what you have on your thoughts. So I have believe it or not, I have an issue with a service animal.
Yeesh.
I laugh because you were talking about this last week,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gone from weird to crazy. So I want to kind of share with you guys what's going on, how we addressed it this morning, and how I see it playing out in the next couple of hours. What do you have from the marketplace? What questions do you have?
Shoot, what I really have just one question. I know that I had asked it in the group thread, but basically my question for the marketplace is have you or have you known anybody maybe on your team or um other people had got a property or any property, seeing the property and everything is great and all well with all your requirements and everything. Um, but how did you have you ever dealt with a property that has like oil for heating? So that has a oil tank that used for heating. You may got central AC, but when it comes to heating, they have oil where you actually got to fill it up in the wintertime.
I
And
laughed. Listen.
it's just a weird because I never had a property like that. So I'm like, okay, you gotta fill up the oil in the wintertime. That could be a
Okay.
lot of money, it could be highway robbery. I don't know about the prices, but is that something that you just totally X out when you're looking at your places, or
I
are
ha-
you
I had some experience with that, and I can definitely share with you What I
Yeah,
think might be a best or a better practice. Um,
yeah, definitely,
um,
definitely, because that right there is like I have I actually ran across somebody else like that actually was interested in what we're doing, our model, what we're doing with our places, but that right there could make it or break it, just having that. And also another question is besides like the heating oil that you have to fill up every winter, have you ever had a place that didn't have trash service? So you have to provide your own trash service where you have to hire a company to come pick up your trash bi-weekly or so. Have you ever experienced that? And that's basically about two questions. Get your thoughts on those two questions.
okay, so oil heat and paying for your own trash removal.
Yes, if they don't have trash removal in the area or in the neighborhood.
Interesting. Okay, I got that down. Um, those are good questions. Those are questions that we've not really ever addressed on this forum. So yeah, let's jump into it. Great, man. All right, so wins for the week, man. Praise and progress report. I will begin, my brother. This is day 3 of my Queen and I's anniversary weekend. Our anniversary was actually on the 25th. And as you guys know, because of the debacle with the global IT issue, we were stranded in New York City for a couple of days, and we tried to make most of it. But the domino effect is she couldn't really take off the days, the 25th to 26th, like we had intended. So here's what we did, Cornell. So on the 25th, which is a Thursday, we ended up shutting it down about 2 o'clock ish. And I got a massage at her local place, and then she got a massage immediately afterwards. We went from there to a nice we wanted dinner, we wanted Indian food. We got a recommendation from Lewis and went to this great Indian house. And then afterwards, we were feeling tight. Cornell, like you have to adjust your belt buckle tight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. So we ended up taking a nice stroll in the park. They were doing Shakespeare in the park at one of our area parks. So we kind of did that. And that was day 1. Uh, yesterday was day 2. Um, we initially were going to do some movies. We were going to go to a blueberry festival and realized by the time we got ourselves situated, it was shutting down. So we
Wow.
ended up taking a hard pass. Believe it or not, uh, dealing with this issue with this service animal for about 30, 40 minutes. Then when we got to the other side of that, which never got resolved the way we anticipated, we ended up doing another walk in the same park in a different area because they have a ton of beautiful flowers, ton of beautiful things. And then we got some ice cream. And then today, round 3, after we have our marketplace call, we're headed to Canada, man. We're going to do the aquarium in Canada and maybe do an Airbnb and come back tomorrow morning for church. So, man, that's
Oh, wow.
my praise report for the week, brother.
Okay.
What's
That
your
is
wins, my
good.
friend?
Let's see. My wins for this week is basically it's similar to what I had last week. Actually, I'm doing good with the family and everything like that. I know we're getting together with the family. I have one of my siblings' birthday is coming up the beginning of August, so we're having like a get together. People love cooking out on a grill and stuff like that, which is pretty cool because grill food is pretty tasty. But
Yes.
yeah, that's cool. We're doing that the first week of August. And when it comes to fitness as well, which is good, I have started this I did it before, but I started this journey of like fasting. So like it's sort of like intermittent fasting where you
Yeah.
actually um not eating for a certain window of time in the day. So you might not be eating for 16, 17 hours, and then you're eating when about 5 hours. So it's just fasting has good benefits where it puts your body in like almost in a ketosis state where you're
Yes.
giving your body time to break down the food that's in your system and digest it gives your digestive system a break. A
Right.
lot of us like to eat all the time, eat and break off fast early and eat, and and the body you can go a whole 24 hours without eating. You could just drink water and black coffee or water and tea. But it's just good benefits of doing that. Of course, one of the benefits is weight loss as well,
Right. Right.
with exercise. So I've been putting that back in my fitness regimen, which has been great. Um, and when it comes to finances, we always like to have we always been having like a returning guest that's been coming back saying that they want to stay back at our places, which is cool, which is really cool because the returning guests that means you give good service. So that's always a good thing. So those are really my wins from this week.
What a blessing. Great. That's good to hear, man. Now, Cornell, man, do you have any of your guests? Because some people out in social media may not believe this, but it is not uncommon to have a guest in your spot 2 or more months. Now,
Yeah.
do you have any guests that may not have like a lot of space on their credit card? And so the way they do it is every 2, 3, 4 days, they just renew. 2, 3, 4 days, they
You know
renew.
what? No, I didn't have that, but I know some guests want to like do it about weekly. They want to kind of pay weekly. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you can do that, but you just have to keep
However,
extending and keep extending. But then you have to block off your days for them just to, or if you leave it open, somebody else might take the days. So, but people will try
so
to do that.
yeah, so what I found, my friend, is this. People that do 2 or 3, 4 days,
Mhm.
I don't ever block off my rooms for
Okay.
the, that's pro tip number one, because that could be money that you're flushing down, in the kindness of your spirit, because you want to provide a good opportunities for people that don't have a lot of money.
Hmm.
But what happens in some cases is when their room gets snatched up by somebody else, when it's opportunity, I might have to just to change a few codes and move them to an available room in the
Yeah.
same property, or move them to a different property altogether. And then they got to do, I'm very, very transparent. If that were to happen, you will have to do a new cleaning fee. Not something that I
Oh, okay.
want to
Yeah,
do,
definitely.
but it's something we got to do if you have to move rooms. So,
Both rooms. Yep.
if we're trying to
Absolutely.
stay within your budget, 2, 3 days, renew, extend, I get it, but it's better to, like the airlines, reserve your ticket now so the prices don't go up and down.
Yep.
Yep. So that's good, man. Real good. All right, man. Now, where like from an occupancy standpoint, man, you stay killing it, man. So any changes on your occupancy?
You know what? I know that I have like one room vacant right now. So far, so I'm probably at like a 90% occupancy, which is still good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So I went through my numbers for my occupancy and I saw numbers 85%, 90%, 100%,
Uh,
72%. So if I were to do an aggregate of all of our rooms, all of our plot for the month, we definitely are playing somewhere between 78 and 80% occupancy. And so, kind of circling back to a conversation that we had at one point, when coach says if you can lock something in at a 40%, when we talk about formula, if you can lock your numbers in where you can make your rental arbitrage rent with just 40% of your occupancy, and you're truthfully averaging about 80% occupancy, you know, the
mhm.
way that those numbers are, Cornell, conceivably you could do 2 times your rent.
Yeah.
You could do now doing 3 times your rent, that would be a bit of a stretch. Do you agree?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, definitely. Unless you already have, I guess, a bunch of reviews or anything like that, doing three times definitely is kind of hard doing it. Yeah, it's definitely kind of hard. Have you did three times before so far with any of your older places?
The closest I came to three times my rent was during the high season.
Okay.
It was a place where I had five bedrooms in the house,
Mm.
and I had the whole, because of the neighborhood, in part because of the neighborhood, I had that whole house for the same rent rate as I had for a three bedroom
Oh yeah,
in a
yeah.
in a nicer neighborhood.
Okay.
But again, there's a certain price point for everything. And the more I read and the more I learn, I'm rereading this book now called um not not how but who. It's the same author. You read the book 10X.
Um, you know what? I haven't read that book yet. I heard about it.
Man, this book is phenomenal. And if I can real quick screen share with it, to share with my our people home, uh Audible, yeah. This is definitely a book that you guys want to put in your library. All right, go here. All right. This book is pretty good too. The Flow State by Frederick Dotson. Um, best way I can describe this book is when you think about the world top athletes, um, when they just do things that are like, how did they do that? Oh my God, that's
Mm-hmm.
they're in the flow.
Hello.
They're in the flow. They couldn't even tell you how they did it, but their body is just so often in our world. There's times where we just do things where it's your highest performance state, whether it's in sports, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships. Things just happen naturally. And the question is, we all have been in the flow state. The real issue is, how do you stay in the flow state? How can you
No.
kind of position yourself where you can go into flow, on demand? That's the power of the book. I would absolutely recommend everybody check out that book. Um, but the book that I was pointing everybody to is called, where is it? Where is it? All right. By Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. This is one of the good books, The Gap in the Game. That's not the book I'm talking about though. So this is all I do, bro. I don't watch TV, I don't
Mhm.
really do a whole lot of hanging out, but I read. I read. Um, Who, not how. The formula to achieve bigger goals through accelerated teamwork. And it's this whole book talks about leveraging the collective power of a community. And when you can collaborate, if you can collaborate, like, so for example, this is the thing that kind of blew me away. He said the reason that people procrastinate,
Mhm. Well,
the reason that people procrastinate is is actually there's some internal wisdom around that particular task. Like your wisdom to you may not know what you're good at. A lot of times we have to take it's like a journey to figure out what we're good at, but you know inherently what you're not good at. And we ultimately procrastinate around what we're not good at. Like for example, I could get up in the morning and I can lose myself 2, 3 hours doing social media because I'm good at it. I like social media.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
when it has to do with things like spreadsheets and budget analysis, and I kick it down the road because man, it's got to be done, but it's not good. It's not really what it's not my gift. So he was saying the whole purpose of procrastination is it's your internal wisdom that's not your gift. So we kind of think about procrastination as a negative, but really it's a wisdom that your spirit knows. But what we do is we try to figure out, well, how do I complete the task instead of who could complete the task, and they do it effortlessly because that's their gift. And so ultimately, if we take a look at all of the areas of our lives, we should have somebody that we're collaborating with to be better, especially if it's not our gift. So if it's fitness, Oprah collaborates with somebody who makes her meals. When it comes to faith, some folks collaborate around people that may know the good word better than them and can kind of bring them back into alignment when they get off. When it comes to your family, you may collaborate with somebody that is your coach in terms of family. Well, ultimately, he says that the reason that we don't do, now this was the kicker, bro. I love this. And this is the thing that I'm challenging myself to do. The reason that we don't have more of these collaborations is because our goals are not big enough to invest in us. And what he's saying is, it's one thing to get a membership to a gym, but it's another thing to get a personal trainer.
Yep.
When you're willing to invest in yourself, that means you're taking your goals and your mission and your vision seriously. And I just thought that was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. So you literally, Cornell, if you and I were to ask ourselves, what are the things I don't do good at? There's a who that is phenomenal at that thing.
Yeah.
The question is our goals big enough? Is our vision big enough for us to invest in that collaboration? What's your thoughts on that, brother? I know that kind of came from out left field.
I think that's so true. Especially when you was talking about the procrastination, like you're saying that it cannot be a bad thing sometimes too, because you might not just want to do that, be good at that. But that gave me a thought too, like when you're actually like good at something that you want to do, you don't even want to procrastinate on it because you'll get up and want to do it. It'll be so seamless and effortlessly. You just get up in the morning and want to do it. But like you were saying, distractions, like you were saying, you can get up and be on social media and be scrolling through your phone first thing in the morning. But it's nothing more fulfilling of like doing something that you actually like doing. And you can tell because you can just get up and do it. You don't have to think, you don't have to be like, I gotta procrastinate, I don't feel like doing it. You just love doing it. So I think that's definitely great, and it works out. It works out a lot, you won't even look at it like as a job either. Like you might have to get up and go to your job and work because you just have to do it, but you might not want to do it. But something that you want to do, like you want to build your wealth or build your business, or whatever you want to do, something that you actually like doing, you don't mind getting up early in the morning doing it because you look forward to doing it, actually getting up the next day. So that procrastination stuff definitely stuck out to me. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, it's a really, empowering way of looking at something that everybody
Mhm.
deals with. We
Yes.
all listen, one of the things that we were doing earlier on and in the community, we kind of got away from it. Was this idea of setting your daily and weekly wins, your daily and weekly wins. Hang on real quick, Cornell. I'm
Mhm.
seeing an SOS distress in my text message that one of my guests is locked out. Hang on for a second. Uh, This is real time customer service.
Hello?
Great day. This is Earl McCray. I understand that you're having issues with the lock at Warwick.
Yes.
Okay. Is the panel with the digital light, is it making sounds? Is the light lighting
It,
up?
no, it's not lighting up at all.
Okay. All right. So it's not lighting up and it's not making any sounds. Okay.
Mm.
All right. That's interesting. So I will actually send one of my guys out early this morning to get you taken care of. Hopefully we can get that done in the next 15 minutes to a half hour. Okay.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for the inconvenience. Bye-bye. Cornell, that's my next upgrade.
Yeah.
But these locks I've had for the last 3 years, they've
Mhm.
got me to this point right here. But I've recently heard about these Wi-Fi digital locks that you can actually reset from your phone that connects to the to your Wi-Fi. I think I'm going to invest in that.
Is it for the front door?
It is for the front door.
Yeah. Like
Use
it's
it
like
for the
I have
front
like
door.
a Yale or Shore lock. You can use. You can actually unlock and lock it from your phone, which is yeah, it's
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah, so if I had this feature, I could just simply unlock this young lady's lock from my phone, which is something that I plan on doing, especially when we get into higher end stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let me just put that text message out. Now for our Q&A, for our Q&A, what what I can tell you is this. You asked a really interesting question about the oil heat versus the standard gas electric utilities. Um, my wife and I, in the house that we're in right now, when we first purchased it 20 years ago, it had oil heat. That whole setup that you put in the photo with the drum downstairs in the basement was an oil
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah.
And I guess out of fairness to my audience, give give everybody the backstory on this particular property and where are you at in the conversation in terms of acquiring it?
So like the backstory with this is actually the owner actually reached out and wanted to do a showing of it and everything like that. And the property is actually like it's like in a kind of like a farmy area where there's like houses with a lot of land, down like kind of back roads kind of deal. But it's about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes out from places like shopping centers or like shopping complexes or restaurants or stores. So it's not that far from things. So it's like a kind of quiet and secluded place in an area like that. Parking's good. Um, uh, Big front yard. But when I actually seen the place and everything like that, he actually showed it to me. Everything was good. He checked off. He liked the business model. He liked us what we were doing, hosting guests, having business professionals. He liked that idea. He didn't mind that. He was really open to that. Um,
Mhm.
he got a new washer and dryer for the place. Took care of the place. It looks nice. And he showed. I asked about the AC because I like to ask about force heating or air conditioning, central air, and central heating because what I use, one of my gadgets I use is automatic thermostats, like smart thermostats, where you can
Like,
control the
yes,
temperature
my
from your phone.
thermostat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Will
so
that work
which is
with oil heat, oil
I'm not
setup?
sure if it works with that because I think the heater works with is I think you could turn the heat on with the thermostat. I think the heat just runs off of oil, if I'm not mistaken. So when I seen the big oil pump down the basement in the storage closet, I was like, wow, I didn't know that because he didn't have it in his listing. And he said that usually it takes like $500 to fill up one tank, and you only have to fill it up during the winter. I said, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay. So that'll be like an extra expense to kick out for the winter time. And then the trash, he said that about, they don't have any trash pickup. So you have to, or, you have to hire one of these trash companies that come over, maybe, hire them out quarterly and they can come out every few
So he's
months.
passing that expense back to the tenant instead of including it in the rent.
Yes, yes. So he said that would be your expense. And then he said the oil he wouldn't fill up, but that would be your expense. I'm like, okay, okay. The guy's really nice. Got other properties that's not available now. But he was saying that, that's pretty much the deal. And also he was saying, oh, your profile looks good. You're like the number one person. Other people have seen it, but I think I'm leaning towards you. And I said, okay, okay, great. I'll be in touch. And I left it like that for right now. But that's how I got into it. But that heating, the oil, and the trash is like, I'm kind of like in limbo with that. Like, should I actually go for it or not? Because that could be a costly thing, and depending on how much heat you use, you gotta refill it up with oil. So it could be,
So he liked your business model.
Yep.
Okay. He understands that it's going to you're not going to be you're not the tenant. You're the tenant, but you're going to be hosting professional guests.
Yep.
And what was his energy like? Do you like the individual? Or was his
Yeah,
energy off?
his energy was pretty good. He said about the lawn, if you need any lawn service, he said he could come over and cut the lawn or get his son to do it. If you need anything fixed around the home, he can do it. He's not that far away. So his energy was really good. He was real open, really, really, really good energy. It's
Is
just those
he
things.
how about, approximately? I'm trying to make a decision on whether I should share this with you. What was his age?
Uh,
Older, your age, younger?
yeah, so his age was probably like in his 40s, so he wasn't really, really old.
Okay. All right.
So,
So based on the little bit of data I have and the information that I've had from experiences, I think the pivot is in order. I already know the numbers work for a rental arbitrage, but given the fact that we're trying to continually optimize our businesses and make them more automated. Again, the goal is to be able to run this from a beach
mhm,
anywhere on the planet. I think the pivot for you is a co-listing discussion.
mhm.
I would not rental arbitrage this just because of the variability that could be presented with the trash and
Yeah,
the energy costs. So in our experiences, we transitioned from oil and we converted our whole house back over to natural gas because the cost got stupid. It got
yeah.
crazy. Now he's not wrong. He's not wrong that you really only fill it up in the winter, but depending on the winters,
Yeah, no.
it could be well more than $500.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, I had some
Oh man.
I had some $1,200 months every 2 months.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And so the property you had only had one tank or two tanks to fill.
It had one and I'm trying to remember the size of it. It looked very similar to the photo you sent me,
Yeah.
but from a from a family perspective, we're going to actually probably be using a lot more energy than business professionals. But fiscally, it made more sense for me to get it converted. And so there may be, I may be telling you information that could very well be within the formula in terms of the cost and so forth. And I guess if the gentleman was a little older, I would ask you to roll the dice and do a rental arbitrage because it sounds like you like the property.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah, I do.
like
Yeah, I do like the property. It's not bad. It's just those things. And I don't know how you feel about properties that's like in secluded areas like that, that maybe like 25 minutes away from main
I,
shopping centers.
I
Like,
think they can be, listen, I think they can be amazing because
mhm,
sometimes some people are trying to get off the grid.
yeah.
Some people would rather drive and have a peace of mind. This whole project that OC is doing with his farm retreat is
Mhm.
designed for people to get out of the grind, the hustle and bustle, and spend a few days in nature. So, I'm assuming this is probably a more suburban, rural community. Am I off?
Yeah, it seemed like that. Yeah, it definitely looks like that. And area.
Okay. And did you do a walkthrough of the place, or was this all online conversations?
I did a walkthrough actually of the place.
Okay. How far is it from your home?
So the place is about like 45 minutes from my home.
Okay, so it's not. I mean, it's not something that you would want to go there in like for a lockout, for example. So,
Definitely. Okay.
so you would want to position yourself to do as much remotely as possible. I absolutely think that this would be a great conversation around co-listing. And
Okay.
I would be happy with working offline with you, put together a proposal around that. And then worst thing he can do is say no.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be better like that. Yeah. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. With that, I mean, what do you think about the oil? He'll still
So
probably like you'll
the
cover
whole
that.
the whole co-listing model is the following. Okay. Um, we can cover the furnishing. If we do, our percentage of the split is a little bit higher. Um, we cover the marketing, we cover coordinating the cleanings, we cover addressing the laundry. But then all of the other moving pieces, because this is co-listing, this is a partnership. The landlord covers the utilities, the landlord covers the Wi-Fi, the landlord would cover the handyman, if there should be ones. And sometimes if the landlord wants to be a part of the decor decisions, we may even give them an opportunity to make some choices in terms of the decorations. But then that's their cost. So you wouldn't be tied into that discussion at all about the trash removal or the oil fill-ups in a co-listing conversation.
So that would be covered by the owner, I guess, those.
That would be covered by the owner. Exactly.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Yeah, the worst thing he could do is say yay or nay. So
Hmm.
that'll be probably a better approach with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I will absolutely give. Oh my, I'm looking at a text message from one of my cleaning team members, and she forgot to clean a room, and I had someone go into an unclean room
Oh man.
yesterday because I thought she had taken care of it. All right, guys, love your team and make sure you do a better job of communicating.
So is your communication with your cleaners automatic? Is it on automation or you're manually sending out scheduled
Um,
cleans
I'm, u- I'm,
reminders?
u- I'm using. I've done a lot of different iterations. I've had people on the Airbnb app with me as a co-host that just looked at the calendar. And
I do.
then yeah, so you can actually create and include your cleaning team on
Hmm.
Airbnb so they can see the calendar. Done that iteration. I've done an iteration where we do texts back and forth. What I like most is I have an Apple, an iPhone. My cleaner has an iPhone, so we can do a note, a shared note, and keep the log from the last 6 months.
Okay.
So not sure how you and your cleaner interface, but any one of those. Now there's some paid things that you can buy. I flirted
Yeah.
with them like Guesty, got
Breezeway.
away from the Guesty. When I was there was a program that Coach Jim recommended to me is the word guest and then the Y Guesty.
Oh, okay,
And
okay. I
yeah,
mean, that and Guesty and Breezeway. How were those broken up for you?
Breezeway is very similar to Guesty. It's
Okay.
almost identical.
Okay. But were
Even
those,
the
I mean,
price.
those automations, so were those actually good or
I would, the truth of the matter is I love the automation. I didn't like the cleaner. So when I left the cleaner, I left the automation.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you know, there may be an opportunity where I revisit it. Is absolutely something I would recommend if you are already in the process of pulling the trigger on or researching.
Mhm.
Nothing but yeah, nothing but love. Right now, I'm looking, at my team, and we've had a number of different iterations on who our cleaners were. So as soon as I'm like, boom, this is the team right here, I would feel more empowered to make that investment.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yep.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So no matter how good the technology, that human element is the most important.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Yep, definitely. Yeah, yeah. So that's a good one. Yeah, to co-list the actual potential co-list this one, that'd be better. Um, and what was the other question I had from the marketplace? I believe I forgot what the other question was. Was that one? Another question actually.
all right, let me just send this. Please get over there ASAP.
Yeah, sometimes like that's how there's maintenance
Yeah.
people, you gotta actually text them. And is your maintenance guy or your personnel, are they always available when you need something and you have to shoot them a message?
No, they're not always available.
Or
Like
something
this,
happens 3 a.m.?
yeah. Like so, and I'll actually use the last 15 minutes of call and give you like a for instance. Um, um, so yesterday I was telling you guys the reason that my wife and I kind of took uh we didn't go very far is that so here's the situation. We have someone with a service animal. They do an instant booking. You know how that instant bookings work. We have to vet on the back end.
Yep.
But the fact that they disclose that they has a service animal means that our listings are working. And I'm not sure if you remember several weeks, maybe a month or such ago,
Hmm.
we made the transition to put on our listing the guidelines for our service animal
Yep.
um,
I got those
guests.
things.
So we're acknowledging the federal regulation that you can't omit guests with service animals. So we're just putting the guidelines right, very, very transparent on the list. So here we are, instant booking. Um, the instant booking is always followed up by, okay, thank you for your interest. Tell us a little bit more about your stay. Or if they've done that already, we thank them for informing of the purposes of their stay, which is what we did with this particular person. And then we asked them to acknowledge the house guidelines. And in our last call, I told you there's 6 points. First point is no smoking. If they're smoking, it's going to be a $500 fee. Second point is there's no parties. Third point is um, if you're going to have a visitor, we have to be aware of it. They need to have their photo IDs. This is for the security of our other guests in the shared living environment. The fourth point has to do with if you're a local guest, there is a $500 refundable deposit. If you are discovered that you are a local guest, that will be collected. The reason for that is historically, we had nothing but issues. And then the fifth point, if you remember, speaks to our no pet policy. We love pets. We love our fur babies. However, other guests have challenges with allergies. So our guests have to acknowledge those guidelines. Now, this person did not do that. We sent out reminder one, hey, could you please acknowledge the guidelines? Then we did reminder two, hey, we noticed that you hadn't acknowledged the guidelines. And then the third time, here's what should have happened, and it didn't. I should have gone to my automated messages and turned off the message giving her the instructions for check-in.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to do that. So she got the check-in information, she got all the codes, and yet and still she had not acknowledged the house guidelines. All right, so it's 4 o'clock check-in, it's 4:30, check-in is at 4. I'm saying, oh, my spider sense was tingling. Let me check this app. She hadn't accepted it. At that point, I tried to call her. Oh my gosh, this is a local phone number. She's a local. Maybe that's why she hadn't acknowledged the guest. You see where my mind is taking me, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It gets better than that. The number doesn't work. I said, oh my God, this is the same situation Cornell was in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, initially, my sense was to knock on the door. My wife said, no, we're just going to let the professionals handle it. We did. We got Airbnb involved. That kind of messed up our date night yesterday because you know how customer service is. And they said, well, we'll work on it and then we'll get back to you. I think they got back to us at like 6 a.m. today. But in that 12-hour period, apparently she reached out to us at 3 a.m. saying that she was blocked in to the driveway. She needed us to wake up the other guests because her service animal was sick and needed to be taken to the vet ASAP. Now, Cornell, at 3 a.m., I don't advise anybody that's doing this professionally to be available at 3 a.m. In fact, I'm going to suggest this, and I've never stated this before, but if you're working with me, if you're in the community, you need to have strict office hours. I recommend you adopt an office hour where I will take a call as late as 10 p.m. And the earliest I will respond is 7 in the morning. So 7 in the morning to 10 p.m. All right. If there's messages that come through, they come through. But we're doing a semi-passive business, and like there's very little in the way of communicating that being an accommodation that we're going to be available 24/7. I don't know if any business is available 24/7. So just to fast forward this, she ended up getting her service. So I get a series of like 7 individual messages when I wake up this morning, all kind of culminating in the fact that she's checked out of the property and she wants a full refund. How would you handle that? How would you handle that, Cornell?
Getting a full refund? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would, I wouldn't give her a full refund. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, get in contact with support. I mean, how would you handle it? I mean, with that situation. Yeah, gas can be a nuisance sometimes. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
this is how I handled it. And y'all know how I feel about AI. I'm always going to be leveraging my AI. So
Yep.
Cornell, I literally put in ChatGPT, give me a professional response to my Airbnb based on the concerns and the complaints below. And then I just took all of her little messages and put them in the AI. And this is where AI got back to me. It said, all right, here it is. Good morning, so-and-so. Please give us a call at some point this morning so we can better understand how to accommodate you and the health and the status of your service animal. It looks like the number that you currently have on file is no longer active. However, thank you for reaching out. We're sorry to hear about the issue that you are experiencing. Couple points that we want to address: safety concerns. We take safety very seriously, and we will look into immediately if there's any issues resulting with the lock in your door. Our maintenance team will address this issue ASAP. Service animals. We respect the importance of your service animal. If your dog needs to see a vet, please proceed. We will, assist you as soon as possible in terms of the driveway scenario. Apparently, she was blocked in. Policies and rights. Unfortunately, based on our strict policy, we cannot issue you a full refund as a payment is non-refundable. Availability for assistance. Our staff is available to assist between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., which is listed on our listing. Since your message was received after midnight, we regret we were unable to respond to you immediately. However, please do give us a call back during business hours. That's what I did, bro.
Yep, leverage that.
Yeah, leverage the technology, put it into the text thread, and as of right now, even though she has read what I put in there, the best that she responded is, I'm no longer at the property. I accommodated myself with a hotel because my dog is my utmost concern. Because I stated I just moved back to the area, I'm just worried and under a lot of stress, and that is not your problem. I do understand that. So yeah, man. So as we kind of bring this to a close, the way it is right now, she has that space for the next 7 days. If she chooses to stay in the hotel, that's on her. If she chooses to go back to the Airbnb, which by the way is in a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful, beautiful. That's her prerogative. So that's how we intend to move forward. What's your 2 cents? What would you have done a little different?
I would have did that, definitely leverage AI. And then since your policy is probably on strict. So it's like if your policy is on strict, it's actually good though, man, because she can't get a full refund. I mean, your policy is on strict with this place, correct? Is it on moderate?
It's on
There's
strict.
cancellation policy. So they can't get a full refund. So I mean, you handled it the right way. I mean, exactly. Yeah, some of these guests can really be just it's just crazy. It's either that type of stuff or they're trying to. Oh man, what did you say before? You said it got a champagne taste on a bare budget. It's just like it's so many things. Like
Yeah.
it's like why are these? Like, it's just like I don't know. Yeah. Have you?
No,
I know. I heard you say earlier to semi. When it come to your office hours, being closed at 10 p.m. Have you thought about getting like an assistant to be able to handle guest communication 24 hours for you? Like from they got people like in Thailand, Philippines, all these other countries that could be around the clock. But,
I absolutely think. I think it's just a question of when do you make the move? It's
yeah,
always got to fit your margins. You always got
yeah.
to realize that, as you're making money in this business, you got to put some of it aside. You can't reinvest every single thing.
Hmm.
And, this is often, the case when you're scaling up as we're doing, not to actually, be a little bit conservative and pulling money aside. That being said, I don't have a magic number of when I'm going to pull the trigger and start having all my guest communications be done by an outside person. That's kind of why I started talking about the book, because that's what it's pushing me to. It's not that I don't like guest communication. It's just not my gift. I got to really think about what I put in the chat before I put it in the chat.
Yeah.
And so it may be that in the next 90 days, that's exactly where I am, especially when, you know, my mindset is so much enlarged as a result of this Hawaii trip, where,
Mhm.
you know, I'm meeting people that have over 1,000+ co-listings that
Phew.
they're managing. So they absolutely have a team in place. So if they can do 1,000 over the course of building that over the course, I think 5 years, they got to 1,000. I could probably get to 50 if I focused on over the course of a year.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And it's a wider version provider you have with that option. I definitely, yeah, definitely learn more about that co-listing because that's a
Yeah,
whole different thing where you can just there's a wider variety of things you can look at. So
yeah. It's much less hands-on than
yeah,
the rental arbitrage that we started with. So you can have many more clients and actually be doing less work. So, all right, man.
yeah,
So I am, you know,
definitely, definitely.
I'm gonna pray us out, man. Any other takeaways before we shut this down for the day?
The takeaways were good. Talking about the book earlier, talking about procrastination, and then just dealing with a situation like this where leveraging AI. Just working smarter and not harder. Just being able to leverage that and be able to at least get I wouldn't say some of your time back, but make you doing working your business easier by leveraging AI. So that's always a good
Amen.
thing.
All right.
Mhm.
If we can close our eyes and open our hearts, dear Father in heaven, we always give thanks for the blessings, the known and the unknown blessings, the seen and the unseen blessings that you give to us and our loved ones. We ask for continuous protection, continuous guidance as we just elevate to our next level of not just professional excellence, but personal excellence. We want to be better so we can do better. We want to be blessed so we can be a blessing. We ask all of these things in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, man. Take care, everybody. All right,
All right, brother. Take care. Amen.
good brother.